Well, the victims in Law and Order SVU demand the criminals in their cases be brought to justice. But what if the person accused of committing that crime is actually the victim?
That may be the case for George Powell. He has served 10 years of a 28-year sentence for a crime he says he did not commit. And now a judge is saying he should be granted a new trial. Channel 6's Amani Payne joins us now with that story.
Chris and Leslie, after several hearings last year, Judge John Gaunt says George Powell should be granted a new trial. George tells me he's been waiting to hear this news for a decade and hopes this means he'll be able to clear his name for good.
I have to laugh to keep from crying, trying to find the strength to take and turn this pain into a smile.
Since we last spoke with George Powell, his life behind bars hasn't gotten any easier.
This is really happening. I'm really in prison for something I did not have anything to do with.
He turned 46 in January, but it wasn't much of a celebration.
How many birthdays have you had now behind bars?
I've had 10.
His age, one of the only things in here to signify life moving forward.
How do I stay sane? You don't.
George has been in here for more than a decade, serving a 28-year sentence for robbing a Killeen 7-Eleven, something he says he didn't do. He spends his days poring over evidence he says clears his name.
They're right in front of each other. Does he look 6'3"? Does he look like he's towering over her? Does you see any resemblance?
False testimony from a jailhouse informant and major height discrepancies between George and the suspect captured in the crime video blew the case open. And after all of these years, Judge John Gaunt says because of due process violations, George deserves a new trial.
Well, thank you, Judge Gaunt. I appreciate it. It's just a humbling moment. You know, it's been quite a relief. He knows that this whole case is nonsense.
George got the news first from his fiancée, Tamara, and then his attorneys at the Innocence Project. Both say it's been a long time coming.
It's definitely been a tough journey. I mean, I've been in it for 6 years now. We're going to do everything we can to still prove that innocence.
This is good news. It's certainly very encouraging. A lot of this is what we have been saying all along about the prosecutorial misconduct.
The state's failure to relay information to the defense about the jailhouse informant and a Crime Stopper reward offered to a witness were among the concerns raised. The judge's recommendation of a new trial will now head to the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals for the final say-so.
Once they look at the case detail for detail, I am confident that they will grant me my actual innocence.
George says he also wants to see District Attorney Henry Garza held accountable.
I've written him 50 letters from the time this happened to me, begging him, please don't make this mistake. You got the wrong guy. Please undo this. And not once did he apparently even consider it.
George says there are so many other people with cases just like his behind bars. His incarceration fueling his new life mission to be an advocate for the wrongfully convicted.
You don't realize how precious and priceless life is until you've lost everything. And if I get out, I promise you I will dedicate my whole life to this.
It's unclear when the Court of Criminal Appeals will make the final ruling, but George's birthday wish this year is that he won't have to spend his birthday next year in here.
It is best to believe the day that I'm free, I'ma rise up and change lives in them streets.
Again, no word yet on when the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals will make their ruling, but District Attorney Henry Garza is speaking out about the situation. He sent us a statement saying in part, "We are in the process of reviewing Judge Gaunt's findings and recommendations. We intend to file objections to the court findings as we are of the belief that they are not supported by the evidence at the hearing. We will await for a final determination from the Court of Appeals and proceed accordingly." Chris and Leslie.